Good morning, America, and good morning, every one of you from wherever you are on this big planet. Today, this newsletter is going to be kind of interesting, but in its own right, because it has to do with COVID-19 universal infestation. Now, I am convinced that no one of us on this planet will escape this virus. So we can only hope that our immune system will find a way to beat that evil. But in many ways, there are kind of interesting things to consider as far as this COVID-19 is concerned. First, I arrived this morning from my trip in the East Coast. As you all know, I drive this big rig for FedEx. And in the back of this trailer, on the back of this tractor, there is 2 trailers which are loaded with critical equipment and tools, whatever is needed for those in the front line. As you all know, I want to participate not only on the spiritual level, but also on the physical battle against this virus. So, very, very tired, but at the same time, very happy. I made a little video before this one. Again, you will have the link in the newsletter, which you must read and get an idea what it means to be an OTR driver and sleeping or trying to sleep in something that constantly moves and very, very noisy. And sometimes you got potholes. Find myself completely jumping off this mattress and then falling right back. It's very, very hard to sleep. Anyway, at least I'm doing something good for the world. I'm part of the solution. Okay, so what do we have that it's important to mention to you today? First of all, there is a bunch of pictures that I took. I like to take pictures and share them with you. So go and look at those beautiful pictures. That's the beauty of being a truck driver. It's either very early in the morning, enjoying the sunrise, or late at night, enjoying the sunset, and in between, of course, rainbows and God knows what. So I'm trying to share all those experiences with you so you get to forget the negativity which is cursing the world currently. I don't know how many of you but recall that, but for years I have been written Universal Reptilius Infestation, the Unstoppable Reptilius Universal Infestation. That was back in 2016 and 2019. Little did I know that my vision of a universal infestation would actually take place. So before anything, let me take this example. You go fishing and there is a worm at the end of the hook. You know that fish, all of us, if he bites that bait, the hook, it's going to get him and then he's going to die. So is it the bait? Is it the hook? Is it the line? Is it the fishing pole? Or is it the person at the fishing pole which is responsible for the fish death? And this is why I'm trying to make you think in a very different way than you would normally. What I'm trying to tell you is you made a decision to go fishing. And in order to catch the fish, you have to have your fish line, your hook, your bait, and all that good stuff. So initially, the first thought to go fishing starts with you and not the bait or the hook. Now, there's a lot of people that follow conspiracy. And as I told you many times, conspiracy are very real. I personally believe that also, like you may, that this virus was created in Wuhan, and you know, from there, the Chinese made sure he didn't get to their country, but they didn't stop the airplane coming in and out of Wuhan. The next thing you know, the entire world is infested. So this makes sense, don't get me wrong. But initially, the Chinese, like the French, the English, Australians, Russians, Americans, have a chart, and many of them are racist. So again, I can only regurgitate what I already told you before, that the most powerful man in the world wanted to build a big, thick, tall wall. And all he did for years is to do everything in his ultimate power to build the wall. And the wall is built. The wall is here, right now, much bigger, much stronger, much higher than any wall that President Trump could have ever imagined building. But it's not a physical world. It is what he called the unseen enemy. Because he's the most powerful man in the world, and everybody under his jurisdiction, we have to suffer his fate and his stars. We are now all responsible for creating this virus, because before President Trump came in power, the world has always been not only atheist or religious, but also racist. But since his jurisdiction, since his control, since his power, and there is no denying how many times he's been really, really blunt about, yellow, black people, yellow people, brown people, green people. That's the way he is because of his stars. I can only repeat myself for those who just jumped in, my friends. Okay, our president was born with a very, very negative dragon still into the sign of Sagittarius that rules anything and everything that well with foreigners, foreign affairs, religion, anything to do with nature, and of course, our pets and the wildlife. That is a nasty dragon. Now, it's important to realize that our situation with the economy is absolutely terrible. From where we were all the way down to suffering hell, literally. I believe in the American spirit to rebuild everything. I'm with you on that one. But politicians, particularly President Trump, don't really care about you catching coronavirus. He doesn't give a damn about you suffering COVID-19. He doesn't care. And so are the politician who wants to maintain their position, their power, their security. So they have to oblige by what they or their stars, which are the same as President Trump, dictate to reopen America in the middle of a pandemic. I give you a date. Now, again, if you're a VIP or if you are a Patreon, chances are you're going to read this quatrain in my prediction in details, because I don't want to be part of the negative energy that the reptilians needs in order to survive in dark matter. Remember, those nasty extraterrestrials, the negative ones, can only survive like fleas on a dog with fears. And there is plenty of that going on. Remember, in the eternal battle between emotions and logic, emotions always wins. Fears are emotions. So a lot of people would rather, ignore social distancing because they don't care, they don't want to hear about it, or they don't want to wear a mask. They don't want to do anything that could save their lives, because in their mind, their life has been completely upside down and they want to go back normal. And so do I, believe me, so do I. I would rather be here and writing and doing reading than to drive a rig all the way to New York again on Tuesday and then for as long as I can do it to help people. I would rather stay home and being safe, okay? But I have the keys. I do not fear, and I understand how this disease can get to you. But now I am convinced there is no one on planet Earth that will not get coronavirus, and I can only hope that your immune system is strong and well designed. All right, so the idea again is to wait for May the 7th, where I will complete, unless you want to join and know what's going on earlier, okay? On May 7th, we complete this video because we're going to see where we're at and you see who is right. Now, we are still under that shocking, unusual, abnormal explosion, earthquakes type of window. And there is no denying. Today, we had a 6.6. And a few days ago, we had a 6.1 in the Indian region. And today we had the 6.6 in Bonin Island in Japan. The word Japan is mentioned. Earthquake at or above 6.0. How can you deny when I wrote the quadrant, give you the keywords, and during this window, we had a 6.6 in Japan. 6.6 do not happen every day. Neither 6.1, my good friends. But did you experience something weird, out of the ordinary last few days? Let me tell you what happened to me. Just before getting to Phoenix, I stopped to fuel my truck. And this guy came along and said, excuse me, you're a professional driver. Could you help me, please? I said, what's wrong with you? He says, I'm driving a truck, and behind the small, it's a rider truck. He's moving around, and behind the truck, he has a trailer in his car. And then he's not a professional driver. So when he wanted to fuel, he jackknifed the trailer between the fuel pump and a post, a cement post, concrete post, and metal post also, which is designed, of course, for people like him not to hit the fuel, the pump. So I went there and I saw that. It took me, 3 seconds, both sides of this, and I was able to realign, move the trailer and the truck, and then realign it properly by the pump so it could fuel it. And he thanks me. So this is not normal. This is unusual. I already knew that because of my window, I would hear about things that are unusual. And by the way, this window also mentioned UFOs. And yesterday, I got an email again from my the producer and the editor of the video that sent me a link for me to look at the movie where I'm going to be featured very soon. It was absolutely perfect, and I just loved it. They said, okay, it's going to take a while to submit it to Amazon Prime, and then once we have it finally in Amazon, we'll give you the link, and that link, I will share it with you. Again, UFOs. But doesn't stop there. Not just earthquakes and UFO, my friend, and I prove it to you. Let's look at some of those shocking, unusual news. 10 coronavirus unit nurses have been suspended for refusing to work without N95 masks. Don't you think that's shocking? Those people should be given Medal of Honor to risk their life every day without the right thing. And you wonder why I drive this big rig for FedEx to bring these tools that is so desperately needed to those who are in the front line. Oh, the people that are, suspending those nurses, they are not in the front line. They're behind the desk. They're safe. That's disgusting. That's unheard. That is shocking. This is not normal. One piece of news. Okay. A man goes to withdraw his 1,700 stimulus money and gets a receipt for 8.2 million. Oh, wait a minute here. Do you think it's every day that the guy goes to his bank account and next thing he knows, he's got, $8.2 million that he doesn't know what the hell he come from? Do you agree with me? This is kind of a little bit shocking. What would you do if you go and check your dead bank account. You got $1,000 left. Okay, 5,000, whatever. The next thing you know, you got 10 million. Would you realize that Dr. Cherry's work is real? Do you think it's every day that that's happened? With the reptilians manipulate technology for good or for worse. With such amount of money, there is no way he could escape and take the money and retire. Maybe I would have taken that money and I'll build my schools to educate those educated idiots and their children. That's what I would do with the money. What else do we have that is part of my inaugural keywords? Explosion. A weird stellar explosion may have caused the brightest supernova yet seen. Well, if you read the keyword, you will read cosmic phenomenon. You would read explosion, and you would understand why those educated idiots at NASA could never give you a very, very precise timing for earthquakes at or above 6.0. Dr. Cherry does it. You can't make this up, my friends. You like it or not, I'm real. And I intend to prove it to you more and more and more. Let's move on. Pepper mill explosion rocks small town of J, Maine. Explosion. We even had an explosion in my own city here in Phoenix. That's why it's so very important for you to click on the link of my last SOS to the World Deadly Window, because there's only one thing that doesn't change. It changes. Make sense? Of course not. Changes. Life is a constant process of unstoppable change. The only thing that don't change is change, because change are change. Make sense? Newborn founded a seat after mom gave birth in vehicle involving wreck. Well, do you think it's every day that a mother gives birth to a child when she gets in a wreck? Don't you think that's a bit shocking, unusual, weird? Hello? Hello? Just don't know what to do to make you aware that I don't predict anything. I'm not a psychic. I am a scientist, a different type of scientist who understands God's cosmic design and how he speaks to us. That's what allowed me to use Nostradamus' 16th century divine astrology to make quatrain and obvious keywords so you're ahead of time and you can be prepared. Yes, coronavirus was predicted in August 2019. Get the book, read it for yourself. There is so much more in this little book for you at a universal and personal level. Yet, from coast to coast, they don't want me there. Everybody has predicted it. You're not the only one. That's what I heard. Well, did they also predict that the airline was going to go berserk? Did they also predict that the cruise liner was also going to go berserk last August when they were making millions and billions of dollars traveling the world? Did they mention anything about the fire in Australia 2 weeks after I was on coast to coast telling you that millions of animals will perish? What else? 9 coronavirus deaths in one Ireland church overwhelmed pastor and his flock. Let's say his flock of idiots. Had these people read my work, maybe they would have read the wake-up call. Yeah. Oh no, God save me. Nothing can happen to me because God. That's stupidity. Not to fear is being smart. Protecting yourself, washing your hand, wearing a mask, keeping your distance is even smarter. You do the right thing and do not fear. A magnet will attract a piece of wood, my friend. You'll be safe. What else do we have? Recovered coronavirus patients are testing positive again. Can you get reinfected? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mentioned that well before the news that if you fear coronavirus, you're going to attract it. And now they're talking about it. But I thought if I get it, I would I would be developing a immunity against it. It doesn't work that way. The reptilians need your fear. Reptilians need chaos. Reptilians need lies, manipulation, deception. They don't want a real thing like Dr. Turi to go out there and warn you. That's where you're at. Navajo Nation has lost more than coronavirus than 13 states. Again, a lot of people don't like the Indians. They don't like Black American. They don't like these people. They're racist. Oh, I hope this virus is going to destroy this crowd. I don't like Indians. I don't like Black people. And then all of a sudden, there is an upsurge of death in this group of humans. Remember, Sagittarius was the Indians. Sagittarius rules wildlife. Sagittarius rules anything and everything with religion. Even the Pope cannot get his people anymore. And because of the Pope, who shares the same dragon as our president, Italy has suffered much more than any other country in the world. How are you going to be able to raise your own cosmic consciousness when you do not have the basics or the understanding of the dynamics of what it means to be human in the stars, or how God again speaks to us through the divinity of his creation? How are you going to get it? I can dance on my head. I can give you tons and tons of proof, like I'm doing it endlessly on this video. You will still have a problem to adjust because you haven't been trained. You have been indoctrinated either by science or by religion. You will believe science is God. You become an atheist, or you've been indoctrinated and religiously poisoned by the reptilians who have created all religion, and you believe that God will save you. How can God save you when you don't speak his language? What else do we have? Helping kids cope with stress during coronavirus pandemic. The word children is mentioned. Those children are so lost. You know, they have to digest 2,000 years of human evolution in a few years. You know, as I always said, and I repeat myself, it's okay to teach your children geography, languages, history, mathematics, the art. But who is there to teach them who they are, the part they play in the cosmic codes, their fate, their UCI, unique celestial identity, what God wants them to do, their karma? Who is there to teach those kids the crucial values of God's cosmic design? I'm not allowed. The US Department of Education will not bring me there because we're all cuckoo. Even though that I do better than all the scientists combined together when it comes to give you a perfect timing for earthquakes and predict the news by using a solid structure that was used by the great prophet Nostradamus 500 years ago. And then you go on coast to coast and they invite modern astrologers that are regurgitating mathematics all night long in degrees. The type of astrologers who miss the entire picture because they're looking at a tree and they harass you with numbers and degrees and trine and sextile. Remember, Nostradamus 500 years ago didn't have the luxury to have a computer or a watch. Divine astrology used symbols, intuition, and you got to have the gift, the essence. You're not going to teach Michael Jackson how to sing and dance. I can teach all my students to do what I do best. But I am the one who is going to teach you the real ramification of the cosmic design. And I'm not saying this in an egotistic way. I'm just asking my student to ask my permission to use my artwork and to use every single word that I wrote to promote divine astrology. Well, I'm not going to sue any of them because my message and my mission is to spread God's cosmic design to humanity. But at least remember who's your teacher, mention his name, and ask for the permission. What else do we have? Remember, When I wrote my prediction about the coronavirus, in prediction one, I wrote, indeed, the lung cancer or a new lung respiratory disease will plague the victim of an infected scientific community. This is why I agree with many of you who believe the Chinese have used microbiology to weaponize viruses in the eternal battle for power and control. So it's all about deception. So I do agree with your, if you believe in conspiracy. I wrote about it. How can I not support it? Before all the news talk about China and all their scientists, infected scientists led by the reptilians to weaponize science, I wrote about it. Well, basically, all I'm trying to do here, my friend, is to make you aware that when I say be ready for a cosmic phenomenon to happen, and then during that window, you have the brightest supernova that ever hit Earth, those watched by the scientific community, somebody must be right. Well ahead of them. But again, it is not of me being ahead or better than them all. It's all about me trying to educate you that the incredible values of divine astrology have been stolen. They are being used by the church. They are being used by the Illuminati. They are being used by people like J.P. Morgan, who said that millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. All the Pope taught astrology by the Vatican Council so they can control you. They don't want to give it to you. They want to keep it for themselves because knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. They can control you better. What am I doing here trying to give you the golden keys of what it means to be human if much of you don't even read or cannot assimilate my work? Is that why Jesus says don't give your purse to swines? I'm not calling you swine. Understand that. Okay, I have respect for all of you. But I'm telling you my dilemma that when I write a newsletter, people look at the title up, they don't even click and read. How can you improve your own psychical awareness and your cosmic consciousness if you don't read? All right. Okay, my good friends, if you want to know more about what's going to happen on the date that I gave you, okay, May 7th, show your support. Okay, become a Patreon or become a Cosmic Coder. Remember, if you become a Patreon, you're going to get a super deal. And if you get to your Nostradamus Muse Dragon forecast, I believe you're getting also a 3 months of trial on the Cosmic Code. I'm going to be also, I've been invited by so many people to do radio shows, and because I want to help and I want to, support and be part of the front battle here. That's going to be a bit difficult to satisfy everybody, but I'm going to be doing a show with Dr. Donna Hu. Donna Hu, I hope I pronounce her name good. The link is in there if you want to find out who she is, a beautiful, smart lady, which has invited me to do her show. There's plenty of them that are being set up, but that's going to be June or July or whenever I can do it. I have to focus in helping those who needs me the most in the East Coast. So, not sure when I'm going to be back here to give you another video, but click on that newsletter because I share some nice pictures and I explain a few things that I cannot necessarily explain by talking. And then we shall see you again sometime, somewhere, somehow. Until then, may God bless all of you. And most of all, God have mercy on humanity. Goodbye, everybody.